All right, well, welcome everybody to today's class. We're going to be talking about email marketing. And, you know, I've been teaching classes in how to get started with email marketing for about 16 years. And there's a presentation that I often do called Quick Start. And, you know, there's always an emphasis so much in our society to doing things quickly and to getting started quickly and to be moving quickly. And I thought it might be fun to do something a little bit slower, partly because setting up, whether it's email marketing or social media or whatever it is you're doing really in life, speed does not necessarily always equal success. In fact, speed often leads to mistakes. And yes, we can learn from our mistakes. Absolutely. But, you know, doing things slower and thinking them through is, I think, often a way to create better content and create better workflows and understand what you're doing better. So I thought I would call this a slow start. So we are going to go a little bit slow today. And like I said, if you want to ask any questions, you're welcome to share in the chat, or you're welcome to unmute yourself and share your questions. I'm fine with that as well. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing you'll do, really, no matter what program you're using, today I'm going to be demoing using Constant Contact, which is the program I'm most familiar with. And we'll be using this program for the whole time. And if you have questions about other programs, you'll probably need to ask somebody else. I don't really know. I mean, I know some programs and why I don't use them, but I have been using Constant Contact for 15 years and it served me well. And so I'm mostly going to be demoing using Constant Contact today. So the first thing that you'll do is you've got let's say you have a spreadsheet. I have a link on my website, albertideation.com, that talks about how to create a spreadsheet of your contacts. And you know what? I will pull that up. I will share that with you because it's really the first step. The first step is coming out here, and I call this how to create a great email list. Basically bringing things into a spreadsheet and then segmenting your lists in the spreadsheet before you even upload them into Constant Contact. Here are some reasons why you might want to segment your emails. And I'll include this. I'll put this link in the chat, but the URL is pretty simple for anyone who's seeing the video. You're welcome to go there as well and take a look at this. So now back to Constant Contact. I can do a variety of different ways of adding a contact. So let's say if I wanted to add a contact, I could just add one person. And so if I do that, I can just do that simply like this. And what that'll do is that'll bring up my contact form. I can choose what list I'm going to add that contact to. I can add details. I can, add a person's birthday, etc. And I can add as much content on that contact as I want to. And there's quite a lot of different fields that one could fill in, but really the main ones that you want to consider are, well, first of all, your email address. You have to have an email address for a contact to really count in this program. And so here I've got a contact. I'm going to go ahead and save them. And now if I go into my spreadsheet here, I can see that the contact has been added. I can see what date it's added. Then I can edit it if I want to just by clicking on it. So that's important to know. Also, this will tell you how many emails they've been sent and what their response has been. which is kind of important. You want to know sometimes whether someone's getting an email, whether or not they're opening it, etc. So that's one way to do that. There are other ways to add contacts as well. You can use this feature, type or paste contacts. And here what you would do, oh, this is interesting, actually. I just, a moment ago, created, um, I just created a list of all of the kind of important people in Portland politics right now. And so I'm actually going to use this feature. You can use this feature. This is one way to go, or you can paste your emails into the list like that. So these are all, this is the mayor and all the city council members in Portland, Oregon. And I'm going to add this to an email list. I'm going to create a new list, and I'm going to call this Portland. And I'll create that list, click on apply, click on import, and now boom, I've just added 13 contacts to my list. And you can see right here, I don't have their first names. That would be something to actually consider, is to add their first names to this. But in this list, I actually didn't have that handy, but I can go back in and redo this and add them back in. But this is just, one more way to add a list. And another way to do it finally is the way that most people do it, which is clicking on upload from a file. And then you go out and you look for the file. And let's say I have a file and here it is. I click on open. And now I skip the columns that don't make sense. But here's first name, another column that I don't need, another column that I don't need. And then here's the email address. And then I click on continue. And I click on yes. And here we go to city council candidates. And then I click on upload. And I've already uploaded this list before, but I'm just walking through this so that you can see how this works. So 102 contacts were imported, 5 contacts have already unsubscribed, and 1 contact with errors that needs to be resolved. And I look at the resolving errors because this is a good place to fix anything that needs to be fixed. And so right here, I could see that that's what needs to be fixed with this one email, and done. All right, so we've just handled contacts. So now we've uploaded some contacts. We've done a little segmenting, etc. So are there any questions at this point? This is a kind of key, basic, fundamental spot, which is where you start your email marketing journey, is bringing contacts into your account. And this is something that you'll also be continuing throughout time. You'll be continuing this through things like having a pop-up form on your website. You might have a link to a sign up, as I shared with you a moment ago. Let's see. So there's always too many things going on at once. So if you look at the first, this is also for the new folks who have just arrived. If you look at the first link that in this list of links that I'm just sharing with you, that is going to lead you to, in fact, I can show that to you. That's going to lead you to a sign up form or a landing page. They're sort of interchangeable, but this is a way that a person could then be added to a list, is this landing page, for instance. I usually ask for an email address, first name, and then I encourage people to put their birthday because I like to send out a birthday email for people's birthdays. All right, so back to the question of contacts. Does everybody feel comfortable with what I've just gone through, or are there any questions? You're welcome to unmute yourself. You are welcome to ask in the chat if you have any questions. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to pause. You are using emails for this step that you have permission to add to your list. These are people who you've done business with, your family, past coworkers, but you shouldn't really be adding anything more than that at this point. Or if you have an email program where you're moving from one email program to another, let's say you're exporting from program A and you're importing into Constant Contact, I assume you already have permission if you've already been emailing people. So that is a little bit about contacts. There's other sections in here. There's a section called lists. You could see the different lists that I have set up for this account. Segments is a new area. I haven't really used it all that much, but you can see who is somewhat engaged, who's least engaged, everyone else. And you can create different segments out of your lists. You can use tags as another way to separate people out. And again, back to contacts, which is the area that we most looked at. So what's interesting here is I could take, like, let's say the most engaged, the people who've opened the emails, send them one kind of message. The people who are least engaged, send them a different kind of message. I can also just email people who are new subscribers, who have just subscribed in the last 30 days. And that would be all these people who I just added a moment ago. Okay, well, I'm not hearing any questions. So I'm going to move on to, now I've got contacts in my account. The next step is I'm going to create an email. I'm going to send them something. So I click on create an email. And this would be, I could, from here, actually, I could create not only emails, but all sorts of things. But now, one of the things that you can click on is branded, which is a neat field. So this is, I created a brand using all the alignable colors and logos and things like that. But you can create a brand with any website. So it makes more sense actually for me to use my own website, but I wanted to do this as a demo for folks. So, excuse me, these were all created, all of these different templates, when I just put in alignable.com. And this is what it grabbed. It liked all the colors. It found all these different button texts. It grabbed the Facebook account, the Twitter account, and the Instagram account of Alignable. And there's other things that it finds as well. So there's other ways to go looking for templates. You could look by industry. You can look by holidays. You could just search. So Valentine's Day is coming up. And so let's just take a look and see, okay, so here are a bunch of different Valentine's Day templates. And just for fun, I will use one. In fact, I probably will send out a Valentine's Day email to my list because I like to market around holidays. So here we go with an open template. It's grabbing the logo from Alignable. It's already filled in, it's got some nice formatting. It's got a fun background and it's got this fun picture. But before we go to all that, I'm going to just show you like kind of the beginning steps of what I would do if I was using this to create a newsletter. First thing I do is give this a title. This is for myself, just to keep track of what I'm doing. Next up is the header area. This is super important. Whatever is in your subject line is the main thing that people are going to see, and it's going to be what drives whether or not the person opens your email or not. The pre-header text is something that comes after that and makes kind of a 1-2 punch. Here you can see Valentine's for your sweetheart. You don't want to miss this. And then it's saying where is it coming from. Albert, the single guy, with the address that it's coming from, and then the reply address that I want people to write back to. So other things you can do with this area is you could put in emojis. You can also do personalization. This is why I asked for people's first names. And this will go Valentine's for your sweetheart, Albert. You don't want to miss this. So hopefully you can understand how that whole flow works. And you can add in something like that. So if you don't have the first name of the person, the word lovely will be put in there. So I'm going to save that. And then the next thing that I generally do is I grab a text box and I make that the first thing that I put in here. And I don't know why it won't go up in the very top, but right now it's not wanting to. So, but what I'll do is I'll delete all of that and I will put in view as a web page. And that is the text that I'll probably keep. And then I will probably make that smaller and I will write justify it. And now I've got a little view as web page. So hopefully everyone understands what that means. And that is basically if someone sees that and they click on it, it means it'll open up the email in a browser. And then there's all sorts of things that are useful there. I can use that URL to share. I can just see it in a different format and maybe see it in a format that's a little bit more readable. The next thing that I generally do is I throw in share buttons. Sorry, what I would do here is I would do social share, and this allows me to share the email, or actually for the person who gets the email, they will be able to share this further. So now you can see it's shared on Facebook, shared on LinkedIn, like that. And then the next thing that I'll do is I would probably start the email. So I might, or maybe I'd throw a logo in here, but right off the bat, I definitely love personalization. Who doesn't like to see their name? So here I would add a greeting tag, hello, first name, and then greetings. So, and then after that, I would just continue typing. And I would say, hello, this is a note to say hi, and whatever other text I wanted to do. Other things that can be brought into this area are images, and that's pretty big. So here's an image. If I click on the image button and I click on replace, I go out to my image library. From there, I can also edit this image if I want to. Let's say I pick Portland. I can go ahead and edit this to my heart's content. I can add borders. I can add text onto the image. All sorts of editing that I could do. And then once I changed this image, then I would click export and use the new image that I've created. But right now, I'm just going to use this image. There's that. You can also delete things. One of the most wonderful parts of this program is the undo button. So like I just removed that image, but I want to, undo the work I've done. So that's what I can do. I can add buttons. I can customize the button, change the color of it. There's all sorts of fun things that one can do. You can change the radius of the button. Yeah, there's just, editing. You just cannot stop with all of the different possibilities. There's a divider that one can bring into things. You can edit the divider. You can bring video into your email. So here I'll just grab a URL from a video, click on here. This is a really lovely feature. I really like this. So now I'm grabbing this, but I can also change the thumbnail if I want to. And now I've got a nice video that I could share with people about reading more. I'm actually watching this video, and I'll throw the video into the chat for you because it's a pretty interesting video, and it's actually got me reading a lot more. This read more feature is wonderful as well. I'll show you how that works. So basically, I would just click on that, click on edit, and this is the URL that I shared earlier about how to segment your list before you upload it. So there's the picture from my website. There's the there's the title of the web page, and then here's just the beginning text. You can edit any of this. You can edit all these different parts. So there's all of that. There's more data table, event, feedback. It's kind of a cute new feature. You can ask people for feedback. I've tried that once or twice. You can ask people to do like a simple RSVP. And then down below here, there's layouts that you can drag and drop into your newsletter in case you want to do something fancy like that, where you have 3 pictures and 3 bits of text. Or adding a coupon, where this is kind of a fun section as well, where, let's see here. What did that matter? So this is a new feature where I can grab something, bring it into here, and then I can also change the background of this by, just doing things like that. So it can have a little bit of a set off from the rest of your newsletter. Yeah, so there's design things. You can just keep going crazy. You can drag and drop images. You can add in, so right now I've got this background here, but maybe I want a different color. So now I have purple background instead of pink, or maybe I have yellow. Anyway, so there's all sorts of features there that I can keep showing you ad infinitum. It's just kind of a cornucopia of different ways that you can set your newsletter up. You can also change fonts globally. Generally, people like that to be the link. So once I've finished with this, then it's time to preview it. I can look at what it's going to look like on a mobile device. I can look at it in an inbox setting. And then I can also, I generally send myself a test. And so I will send it to myself to make sure that it's looking good. And then I'll check my email and I'll go and I'll really actually look it through and make sure the links are working, that type of thing. Then once I've done with that, I will come out here to be ready to send. I will figure out who I want to send it to. Right now, I'm just going to send it to myself. I will double check and make sure I like this, the heading or the subject line, and all of this stuff is set correctly. And then I really like this feature, which is resend and non-openers. I can then change the subject line and say, okay, well, actually, I'm going to send this on the 3rd. And then I'm done. Then I'm ready to send. Another feature that's kind of fun is this A/B test feature, which allows me to send to part of a list. And then once that has been sent, whichever subject line does better, then I can send the rest of the emails to the whichever subject line is the winner will then go to the rest of the people who haven't gotten the email yet. So I can't do that without sending it to a bigger group. I'm not going to do that right now. So we're going to turn off the A/B test and we'll click on resend to non-openers and we'll confirm. And now we're ready to send. And once you send, you can then check with time, you can see a bunch of things. So let's just go quickly and look. We'll see what we can find here. So right off the bat, you've got an email link for doing whatever you want with it. You can add it to an archive, or you can just send that link to somebody. You can copy the email and use it again. You can share it on social media. And then once it's been sent, you'll also get reporting. So we'll just look at reporting from another email that I've sent recently so you get an idea of what that looks like. So here's a whole bunch of stuff about reporting. But you can also look at individual emails. So for instance, I sent an email to city council and I had 69% open rate. Very high open rate. This was when they were all running for office. And so they were checking what I was saying. But it's interesting. You can see what your open rate is, what your click rate is, what your bounce rate is, how many people unsubscribe, all this kind of thing. And you can also look at it deeper by clicking on the actual email and then going back and looking at things like, who bounced, who didn't open it, who clicked. You can make new lists off of this stuff as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about the slow route to working with Constant Contact and working with email marketing. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, but it's been a pleasure talking with you. And we'll go ahead. Let's see, why don't we? Yes, I'm going to stop. And I'll take some QA now.